everybody out there on the internets, welcome again to another edition of Give It a Shot Spotlight Series, and today I am reviewing something I've had in the collection for a while, but just never got around to it, and I really don't know why, because I'm a big fan of Hello Kitty, as you can plainly see right here, which sounds odd because this liking Hello Kitty, but I've had this in the collection for a while, like I said, and I felt, I think it's time to review it. I have no idea what I'm in for, although I had an inkling of what I was gonna get, but hey, you gotta watch it, gotta find out. So, where should I start off first? I think I'm just gonna start off with the DVD itself, because I was not aware that this was produced and distributed by ADV Films, also known as AD Vision Films. From way back in my weeaboo days, ADV was kind of known when I first got into anime as like the softcore porn distributor. Like, a lot of their stuff was pretty risque. It wasn't quite, the most friendly anime to walk into. But they changed up the game. I remember specifically how it kind of shocked me that AD Vision, back then, when it was called AD Vision, paid like $1 million for the rights to distribute Evangelion. And I thought they had lost their minds. I'm like, I didn't really know anything about Evangelion. Like, I had seen some models and whatnot, like figurines, but I had no clue about the series at all. And I thought, wow, they're gonna pay $1 million for that. It worked for them, and I guess they were successful for a while. Although, as far as I know, ADV doesn't exist anymore. But I just find it weird that we went from softcore porn to Evangelion. And I remember they had some other stuff that I watched too, like Blue Seed and Golden Boy and a couple of others. But Evangelion was like their bread and butter for years, and they milked that thing hard. They knew what they were doing, because the television series was 26 episodes, and they put it out on 13 VHS tapes, and I don't know if I do, but I used to own every VHS tape except the second one. My cousin Daniel bought that one, and that's kind of what introduced us to it. He bought that one first, and then I just bought the rest. And that went on for 2 years that we had that. I remember specifically every 2 months I would go to, oh god, this is really dating me, to Suncoast Video to find a copy and buy it. Like, I did not care. I was so hooked to that series. And looking back at myself from then, or however you want to phrase what I just said, how sad and pretentious I was that I was watching this anime, which is basically a bunch of navel gazing and telling, its audience, hey, fucknuts, go out and do something. Essentially, which I find hilarious because there's a whole lot of video essays that I've seen about Evangelion and its message to its audience, and the fact that the audience didn't get it. I didn't pick up on it because I was a teenager, and I just like the robots doing this shit. Like, the heady shit was alright by me. It was like a lot of weird philosophical mumbo jumbo that I later learned was like just a trope in anime after a while, but well, here we are. Anyway, I guess all the money that they got, they decided to venture off and try different things. So they got Hello Kitty. Yay. And so I watched the first episode, and it's one of those where they cut it up into two different things. So it's like 2 mini episodes in one. And the first episode, if I'm not mistaken, was called, The Magic Bags. Yeah, they really didn't put too much care into the DVD menu. Like, they got the license for this, and they kind of just slapped it together. It looks slapped together. It's not the worst thing, but in terms of what anime typically looks like, it's on the lower end in terms of budget. Hello Kitty is, for children, and this is very children-centric. This is like 4 and 5-year-olds at best. So the Magic Bag is about Kitty wanting to be able to pull a magic trick for her friend's birthday party, and she didn't know what to do, so her sister, Mimi, suggests that they should go to Magic Land and learn some magic.
We'll go to Magic Land, where we can find a magic trick that really works. That's a great idea.
First thing that ran through my head was, if you have this ability to just go into a balloon, why not just use that? That's magical. That will impress whoever. And if that doesn't, then they are cynical little pricks. And at 5, their life's over. So they go to Magic Land and they go find this magic shop, and the gentleman behind this counter gives them this box. It has 3 bags, and the bags each have different properties. One takes an object and multiplies it. Another one changes its shape, and the third one makes it bigger. But also, if you take the bag and flip them and then put the things in back and just drop it the other way, it reverses it. So if it's a lot of stuff, it puts it down to 1, or if it's one shape, it'll take it back to another, or if it was really big, it'll shrink it. So like, they're all excited by this thing, and all I'm thinking about in my mind is like, ooh, now we can start counterfeiting shit. This'll be cool. But no, they don't do that. In fact, before they have a chance to do anything really cool with it, this stranger just shows up and is like, oh, my grandfather had those things, and ever since then, he did something to the house on April Fool's Day, and he lost them, and my house has been forever fucked up since he was a little kid.
When my grandfather was a child, he thought it would be funny to use the bags to change the house for April Fool's Day, but he lost them before he could change it back.
Alright, sure, we'll buy that. And they go to the house and they see, yeah, it's pretty jacked up, and also that this dude has a daughter, so it's not completely creepy.
Yes, dear, some new friends.
You didn't tell us you had a daughter.
Yes, I do. She's just about your age, but...
That dude just brings these 2 girls to his home. And they see that he has a daughter, and the daughter's sick, because just might as well write that in. And, they try to make her feel better while Papa is working on the house to make it look nice. Back to normal, like the way it was, apparently, even though he wasn't there for it to be, when it was what it was. These stories are convoluted. But what do you expect when you only have, like, 8 to 10 minutes to work with? So, he fixes the house, although we don't see it. And then the kiddies make a garden for the sick girl because she likes flowers. And so it's like, oh, you did all these cute things. Great. Yay. And then they're like all excited and they're going back to their hometown. And then they learn, oh, the magic bags don't work outside of Magic Land.
In the bag is an instruction label? What does it say? You're gonna hate it. It says it doesn't work outside Magic Land. What am I gonna do about Tracy's party? Oh, this is terrible.
So the whole thing is like a waste. Congratulations. No, I think the story deserves a shot afterwards. So part 2 is about the dust monster, and apparently Kitty's mom warns the children while they're sunbathing in full overalls because cats have fur and they're gonna sunbathe in overalls.
Of the dust monster. I think Mom is trying to tell us we need to clean our room.
That's right. I thought the two of you could use some inspiration for your spring cleaning.
I mean, they're not gonna get any kind of skin cancer, but here you go. That if they don't do the spring cleaning, the dust monster will come in the night and get them. Alright, that's weird. That's a new one on me. The whole thing with Santa Claus watches you, or, there are things out there that watch you, and if you behave badly, they get you. Santa Claus, or Krampus, is one of those sort of things, and it was just like, alright, that's cute, ha ha ha. And then what happens? The dust monster shows up in the middle of the night.
Hey!
Because of course. And the dust monster's excuse for creating such terror and making Kitty's sister faint is because he's dust and he doesn't want to be in the corner. He wants to be outside with the flowers. Apparently just like what Kitty wants to do.
It's springtime, and since I'm dust, I really want to be outside watching the flowers grow.
Because Kitty didn't want to bother cleaning up the shit. Kitty's a rebel. I'm not going to listen to my parents. Why do I need to clean jack shit? I'm fine. The room looks fine. And I do agree. The room looks fine. It's a little Spartan for my taste, even for me. But it looked fine. But this dust monster, which looks like a cloudy, floating piece of shit, is like, I want to be out in the flowers. So help me get out there, please. Clean me up. And she's like, wow, I didn't know dust had feelings.
I feel so bad. Not only did I keep you trapped here away from the springtime flowers, I also made Mimi feel silly, and she was right all along.
So, they get up the next morning and they clean, and apparently it was all a dream in Kitty's mind. And that's the whole story. Yeah. I keep trying to keep it in mind that, this is for 4-year-olds, for preschool. But it's kind of hard. Really hard. Oh. Duh. Oh, it's like drinking liquid toothpaste. So... So I have this thing called... called Alani Nu. And the flavor is Cosmic Stardust. Whatever, it's vegan. Whatever makes it vegan, it's vegan. I don't know. Oh, it's certainly fucking with my throat, that's for sure. So, story. Damn, it's like I chewed on tinfoil for a minute. Stories they're pretty short. They're not that great. The other thing that gets me is they do these little things that interstitially, in between episodes. With these characters, which are computer generated, they look like Mii's before Mii's, because this DVD was put out in 2002, so it was way before Mii's, but they look like Mii's, and they talk, and they're a little horrifying.
So are you guys ready to guess the shape?
I am, so let's see the first clue.
They're scary, and that kind of bleeds into the animation of the entire thing. The Mii's are awful. And it's not very, like, they're cute little games that they're trying to play to help children learn shit, but don't know why they're there. Like, okay, learning shapes, colors, and all that stuff. Alright, that's fine. You want to do that, you want to make it educational that way, that's cool. I don't know why you need the Mii's there. The Mii's are totally unnecessary. And they just... they look like they have problems. That's the best compliment I can give them. They look like they have problems. But in terms of the other animation, like this, there is no budget for what's going on. And I was a little worried about how this was going to go because Kitty doesn't typically have a mouth. I mean, I got this big one here. She has no mouth at all. So, like, how are they going to do this? Is she going to speak? And I get they had enough of a budget to give them mouths, so that happened. But there's a lot of shortcuts happening here. Like, you don't see them walk. They kind of bob up and down. Oh. When they go to Magic Land, it's a still asset that floats across the screen. They're saving budget there, and they have a whole song about going to Magic Land, so that's saving on some animation right there. Yeah, like, everything's very simplistic. Like, even more simplistic than what you typically see in anime. And anime cheats a lot. I mean, any character that you ever look at in an anime, it's really easy. Like, eyes, mouth, like, those things will move. Everything else is just, it's almost Clutch Cargo-esque. But, like, it's really obvious with this. And it's, it's a thing. But it's also for children. It's not, I understand it's not going to be, like, the most advanced fluid animation, but, yeah, they cut corners. And then there are the Miis.
Next time. Thank you. You're too kind.
Oh, and I almost forgot. There's a CG Hello Kitty in one of them. And then she moves.
Wow! Did you guess right? It's a great big dolphin.
Horror. Horror upon horrors. Oh. So yeah. Animation's pretty cheap. Not awful. But really cheap. Especially the Miis. Oh. Oh. So, yeah, it's kind of bizarre to me, looking at this, that, ADV decided that they were going to do Hello Kitty, and, like, they have, like, helping fun and games. Yeah, like the Animals one is the one where Kitty pops up. And then inside, they were going crazy. I guess they didn't want to cheat people too bad. So what they did was they put an insert and give you a Hello Kitty poster. Hello Kitty Paradise. With a cute little bee and stuff. So they tried. So you got a little something. But yeah, yeah, this is 2002. So the animation looks to be about, mid-90s, I'm going to assume. It's all right to, I guess I'm going to assume that's 2000, early, like mid-90s is what I'm thinking. But yeah, it's pretty cheap. Also, I guess ADV didn't last much longer. I think they only made it to 2006. I don't know. I'll put it here if they went bankrupt, and if not, I'll put up a picture of a puppy or something. I don't know. So yeah, it's okay. It's just bizarre. Because like I said, from my early Weeaboo days, ADV was kind of like a porn company, and now, you know, like less than 10 years later, they were putting out Hello Kitty. Like, that just doesn't, in my mind, that doesn't compute. Because, I'm such an old weeaboo. Like, that's just the thing. Like they had what was it? Cat Girl Nuku Nuku was like one of the first things I ever heard about them. And like that was pretty. It wasn't porn, but it was. I mean, it was. Lewd would be an alright thing to say. Probably not by today's standards, but back then, I mean, the fact that it was adult animation, which was pretty much the big reason why there was even anime coming into the country, was because, hey, look, cartoons that are adult and adult-natured. Because, you know, back then, Cartoon Network wasn't playing any of that stuff, and, like, to get it, you had to, you know, hopefully you had a specialty video shop near you, or you mail-ordered stuff like I did. That's how I got a lot of stuff, was through mail order. I'll never forget it. I had I mail ordered stuff through Science Fiction Continuum, which I'm amazed that they're still around. But that's how I used to get all of my stuff back in the day. I remember I ordered the Dirty Pair OVAs, Akira. What else did I get from them? I got a bunch early on. And Project A-ko. Yeah, I got like I said, I got no, I bought that at Anime East 95. Wow, okay. No, I'm wrong. But it's just so weird to think that, you know, how much stuff has changed, and, you know, they're not even around. But here we are. I guess also, you're probably wondering how I got this, or not. I don't know. I may have shared this story, maybe not, but when am I ever going to talk about this? You've seen it here for how long? I won this. There is a place in... there was a place in Memphis, back when I still lived in West Tennessee, called Main Event. It's like Dave & Buster's, but I think it's more Midwest. I don't know. I've not really seen too many Main Events, but it's a lot like Dave & Buster's. You know, they have the bowling alley and the arcade and the bar and all that stuff. But they had a huge arcade. And one of the things that they had was a game called Space Invaders Frenzy. It's a giant board, LED board, and you shoot at the aliens. And if you exceeded the high score, you would get what they called the invader bonus. And the invader bonus was, I think, like 500 points or something like that. It was like 500 bonus points. Well, I learned how to exploit that game. I'm gonna let out a secret here, so if you want to use it, here is Philly Films pro tip. So if you want to get a lot of tickets or points or whatever redemption system you use at your local fun place, here's what you do if you want to do that with Space Invaders Frenzy. What you do is you look to see what the score is. If it's in the 40,000s, forget it. Don't even bother. But if it's low, say in the 20,000s, like around 25, 26,000 is normally where it resets to. You aim to get 26,000, okay? Once you hit 26,000, you stop. Like, you'll hear the game say high score, you immediately stop. You quit firing, you let it game over, okay? So what that does is it gives you the bonus, and you go. You get your bonus, and you can do what you want with it. Because if you keep going, what it's going to do is it's going to move the high score up further. And then you have to beat that high score to get the bonus again. So, what I found out was if you just beat the high score by, I think the ceiling was around 500 to 1,000 points, the high score doesn't go up. So if like the high score is 25,000, right? And you got 25.5. The high score stays at 25,000 or it goes up to 25.5. Like it only goes up in 500 point increments. And so you play for that score. And then once you hit that score, you cut off. And if you get proficient at it, you can hit the bonus every time. Now, something else I learned is that the Invader bonus has a daily hard cap. And it's all set by the people who own the machine at that point. And if you, I think the one at main event in Memphis, I think was 12. So depending on what time of day I got there, because I would usually go on a Saturday, I could get around 5,000 points if I was doing good. 5,000 points in 12 games. Because you would get 500 for the Invader bonus, and usually there'd be another 100 and change from your score. So there's like 600 some odd, like I'll say like 625, something like that, for each time I played. So I got really good at doing that, and I got this Hello Kitty. She was 4,750 points. And this funny thing is, I have 2 of these. The other one is sitting in my office at work on a chair. She just sits there, and this one sits here. And they are the exact same thing. I remember when I redeemed my tickets, or my points, the person behind the counter is like, "You what?" I want Hello Kitty. So like they gave me Hello Kitty. The funny thing is, it's also how I got my wife her Switch. So prior to the pandemic, there was at main event, they had a Nintendo Switch. And it was something absurd, like 75,000 points. So like it was way nuts. But no one was ever going to get it. And I was working towards it. Like I had like 30,000 and I was thinking, oh, I'm never going to get this. It's just going to take way too long. But they lowered it down to something like 50 or 55, and that gave me the motivation to keep going, and I got it. And all told, I probably paid, like because I was so good at Space Invaders, instead of paying like 300 plus for what I got her, which was the Animal Crossing, the Animal Crossing Switch, because that was like the brand new thing at the time they had got. So instead of paying like over 300 for it, like I paid 200, because I was consistent. And I mean, it took me a long time to do it. I mean, because I could only go there on like a Saturday and try, and I never knew if I was going to get all 12, or sometimes I only get like 3 or 4. But it worked, and I got over. I exploited a redemption machine pretty good. I still do it from time to time. I can still do it. I go for smaller prizes now because I've learned that not every Invader Frenzy machine is the same. Some have their own quirks, and so it might take me a game or two to adjust, or like their high score is like insane, so I don't even bother. But yeah, there was ways to manipulate it. So that's how I ended up with this beautiful thing. And I hope you've enjoyed story time here. Give it a shot, the Hello Kitty edition. 2 shots. Thankfully, it didn't get any worse. I mean, this is relatively harmless. It's not the worst thing. But, yeah. It's innocuous. It's cute. Just the Miis. The proto-Miis are horrifying. Other than that, not a bad time. I guess. Of course, you know, if the dust monster's real, he's gonna get my ass. Ugh. So until next time, party people, toodles.
See you next time. Thank you. You're too kind.